So, if you've been along to see The Amazing Spider-Man and you enjoyed it, or you know what, even if you didn't, really,
yep.
you may want to get into some of the comics.
Well, that's half the fun of superhero films, really, is then launching into the universe and the comics and the cartoons.
Yeah, but you know what? There are so many Spidey titles out there at the moment,
Wall
along with
of Spider-Man.
the trades and the back issues as well. It can get a bit confusing. So we've had a selection of a few different ones that we think give you a good jumping off point into the world of Spider-Man. So we're going to go have a look.
Now, Al and I have been discussing this for a little while. Now, we come from two very different areas coming into the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
I, for one, have only just recently started reading.
Yeah, whereas I was hugely into Spider-Man when I was a kid, but then I went on to other titles and kind of lost the thread of where it was at.
Absolutely. So researching this segment was actually really quite educational for us, because we both needed jumping off points.
Yeah, so we've looked at a few different ones here, but we thought to start with, it was a good idea to look at some classic Peter Parker.
Absolutely.
You know, get into his roots, get into a bit of foundation on the character. So we had a look at Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale's Spider-Man Blue.
Yes. Now, I have loved these guys' works, you know, Batman, The Long Halloween, and of course Catwoman, When in Rome, which
It's a good one.
one of my personal favourites.
Yeah.
I adore this. Now, with Blue, you get a really entertaining story, but you also get a background into Peter Parker and his first great love, of course, Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, which after the movie, I think a lot of people are going to want to see more of that relationship.
Absolutely. Plus, you get a rogues gallery of Spider-Man's classic villains.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
There's a lot of good guys in there. We start off with the Green Goblin,
Yep.
we've got the Vulture, we've got the Lizard, we've got the Rhino.
There's a lot of animals in
It's like
there.
a trip to the zoo. And then we've even got Kraven the Hunter making an appearance.
An animal
So again,
kind
with
of
an
thing.
animal theme.
Yep.
So, but they're great.
Yes.
But also, I think it gives you a really nice foundation in what Peter Parker is like, where he's coming from as well. It's a sweet, melancholy story that gives you a great grasp of the character.
Now, if you want to go into something a little bit further down the track and a bit more in our time, we've taken a look at Brand New Day, which is set in a post-Marvel Civil War New York. It's a reboot of Spider-Man, and it's got this fantastic handy kind of 2-page spread, which gets rid of any continuity problems that you might be having.
Yeah, sort of, this is what you need to know. Here's this guy, here's this guy.
And then it just throws you into a really entertaining Spider-Man story.
Yeah, and it is a lot of fun, isn't it? I enjoyed this one a lot. And Dan Slott has written some very, very funny dialogue for Spider-Man.
Audible giggling was had whilst reading
Yeah, I
this.
snorted some coffee. It's good stuff. I mean, I like Spider-Man when he's funny, and he definitely is here. As well as there's a couple of new villains get thrown in as well. You've got Mr. Negative, you've got the Grey Menace, and they're both really good as well. So those were a lot of fun. Added to which, we're being thrown back into a world where nobody knows Spider-Man's secret identity.
Yes.
And look, I know maybe we've stretched that premise a little bit far. People are like, how could he have maintained it over that long? I don't care. I just prefer it that way. I think it's better.
It is better. I like it too. Now, Marvel Civil War shook up a lot of things, so this is a good Spider-Man story that still kind of presses that reset button.
Yeah, it gets us more even playing field
Even playing
in a lot
field
of
again,
ways.
yeah.
So, going from there, we've gone to somewhere that's a million miles from your mainstream Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
All the way into another universe. We're looking at Brian Michael Bendis' mini-series, Spider-Man.
Yes. Now, in an alternate universe, Peter Parker has actually been shot and killed, and there is a new person web-slinging their way around and taking on the mantle of Spider-Man.
Yeah, in Ultimate Spider-Man, the Brian Michael Bendis series, we've got Miles Morales, who's a teenager who's become Spider-Man after Peter Parker is killed.
Yeah.
So in this mini-series, which is a 5-parter, we've got Peter Parker actually crossing through from his own universe into this one and meeting Miles. So the reason that we've gone for this, I mean, you could just go for the trade of Ultimate Spider-Man and pick it up from there. But the reason we've thrown this one out is, well, pretty much that it's at your local comic book store right now.
Right now.
So it's a good entry point.
And because it's a great introduction into the universe of Ultimate Spider-Man with our beloved Peter Parker as your tour guide.
Yeah.
So it's the best of both worlds, really.
It really is.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I'm definitely going to check out the
Yeah,
actual
me
Ultimate
too.
Spider-Man now. So there you go. Whether you want to go classic, contemporary, or a completely different universe, you've got a lot of options. And honestly, you can't go too far wrong. Don't be afraid. Dive in And even if it takes you a little while to find your feet, you will get there.
Absolutely, and don't be afraid to ask the people who work at your local comic book shop. They're more than happy to give any advice, and so are the people who shop there, as we discovered.
A lot of advice
being
Yeah.
thrown around.
Yeah.
So you can always get good choices as to where to start in any kind of universe.
Yeah.
But if there are any webheads out there that think maybe there's a better place,
Sure.
let us know. Let us know on Facebook, because we want to know these things.
And also, if there are any other titles or any other characters that you would like to know where to get an entry point for, let us know and we'll do another special on that.
See what we can do for you.
Can I do one more whip?
Go.
Whip!
He's not Spider-Man.
Yes, I am.